Very good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Prashna Samadar. In this particular presentation, I am dealing with the concept of Indian Constitution and the presence of sports laws in Indian Constitution and the role of state in dealing with the concept of sports laws in its various aspects. For presenting this particular concept is of course Indian Constitution, the related articles of Indian Constitution, whenever and wherever it has been made applicable, the schedule of the Indian Constitution where sports has been placed, then how Indian sports has been interpreted, what is the structure of Indian sports, because Indian sports is federal in nature. So how state has placed its autonomy, or whether at all has state plays its autonomy in case of tackling sports or not, that has all been included and that is needed to be studied. And of course how state Indian sports has been developed from time and again, and how in spite of being the fact that sports is a federal subject matter, union government have taken steps to redefine it or to widen out its paradigm. So the basic objectives with which this particular presentation has been made is to understand the placing of sports and games in Indian Constitution, to understand the role of state in tackling Indian sports through its various case studies. There are some of the landmark case studies which has been very much helpful in understanding the concept of the authorities which are dealing boldly the matters of sports and games in India, and to understand the present position of sports laws in India and how the sports authorities are again seen and tackled by the state in their local level. So basically, when we talk about Indian Constitution and where sports has been placed in Indian Constitution, we can see that there is no clear-cut article which has verbatim talked about sports, although in the later times when Indian judiciary has tried to interpret different aspects of sports, it has come down to this view that there are various fundamental rights which also cover the concept of sports, because right to play or right to involve in game may also come under the widening paradigm of the fundamental rights which we understand these days. But during the initiation of Indian Constitution, it was never felt that anybody's right to involve in any sort of physical activity, skill, or having such kind of a quotient in their own physical aspect can anytime be considered under a part of a fundamental right. So that is why Indian Constitution has never tried to include it verbatim in the ambit of fundamental rights. However, it would be wrong to say that Indian Constitution has not catered the need of the sports. So in the 7th schedule state list entry 33, Indian Constitution has included sports in the category of games and entertainment. That is needless to say that the positionality of the sports has been done very casually. It is very much reflecting from the aspect itself that it has been included in games and entertainment, but that is the position which has been given to to sports by Indian Constitution. And at the same time, because it has been given in 7th schedule state list, it is very much clear that it is a federal subject matter, as I have said in the previous slide also. So because it's a federal subject matter, although center has a right to say something or other, but states concerned have been given a wide power to cater various aspects of sports and its analogous activities. Now, in the previous slide, I have said that sports and analogous activities. Why I have said so, although it is not bold out in this present particular slide, but why I have said so, because sports is not only about going into a playground and playing, and then and there only the sports is coming to an end. It is a total networking of different aspects, of different stages, different stratifications are involved in a subject matter called sports. There are various array of authorities, there are clubs, there are federations which are working for the development of the sports, which are working for the development of the players, which are tackling the rules and regulations of different games, championships. Like BCCI is one of those bodies which is one of the bold body in India and has its name at a global platform in tackling cricket related issues in India. And after different championships have started taking shape, BCCI has actually come up into various discussion under international platform also. So likewise, like BCCI is there, there are various other federations, like football federation is there, hockey federations is there, and there are plenty of other, plethora of other federations are there which are working. So their administration, the way in which they are administered, the way in which they conduct their day-to-day services, there are various aspects in which it is done. The other aspect is how the players are tackled in a particular game. The life of the players, the career of the players are very short-lived. So in that short-lived career, what kind of transparency they have been supported with, whether they have come up with various violences, with various discrimination or not, whether they are being harassed or not. These are something which again law has to see and state has to ensure. So there are various layers of aspect which is attached with sports, not only entering into the playground and playing, and that is what is sports all about. Not thinking this in this way would be a very constricted lens through which we will see to sports law. So in this particular slide, I have highlighted one case which is Zee Telefilms Limited versus and another versus Union of India. This was one of the cardinal judgment in terms of understanding the role of BCCI in the society. As I have said earlier, that BCCI had played a pivotal role, and that's why Supreme Court of India has tried to say that BCCI can be considered as a state. So there were various thinking, there were various bipolar thinking, there were various channelization and polarization on considering the fact that whether BCCI should be considered as a state or not. Although Supreme Court has opined this fact that yes, it is a society, it is a registered society, and it is a state because it is something which is dealing with different social activities and having a big social impact, so it should be considered as a state. The next slide gives the entire facts and the judgments which has been propounded by the Supreme Court to this particular case. So this slide gives an exhaustive description of the facts of the Zee Telefilms case, which has dealt with the nature of the BCCI to be a state or not. And not only this particular case, but there's another case which has been quoted here, which is Rahul Mehra versus Union of India, a 2004 case, which has dealt with the nature of a private club, whether it should be considered as a state or not. There was a writ petition filed in the Delhi High Court under Article 226, and in the light of these two judgments, we can really understand that how the concept of the sports and its analogous authorities have been influenced by the ambit of Indian Constitution. Although, as I have said in the previous slide, that Indian Constitution directly does not refer to, except the 7th schedule, it does not directly refer to the games and sports or its analogous issues, but of course in the operation of different articles of Indian Constitution, it of course within its umbrella has a tint of affecting various aspects, because sports again is a human activity, and Indian Constitution is something which is acting as a living law to regulate various aspects in relation to human activity. So sports is not severed or can't be severed from that. So basically that is the thing which we can get from here also. In addition to Zee Telefilms case, Ajay Jadeja versus Union of India, which is a previous case to Zee Telefilms, is also an analogous case which deals with various aspects of BCCI, and again brings into the issue that what is the nature of the BCCI, what is the authority, or what is the dominance with which BCCI conducts its day-to-day activities. So the exhaustive facts is given, and the judgment of the decision is also given in the present slide, which can be referred to for further studies. But conclusively, it can be said that Honorable Supreme Court has considered Zee Telefilms case as Magna Carta for Indian sports law. So as I have said, the issue under question was BCCI's arbitrary termination of broadcasting rights agreement. So the entire, I'm not getting into the depth of the facts of the case because it has been exhaustively provided in the previous slides. However, under Article 32, under the ambit of Article 32, the nature of the BCCI was questioned vehemently. And because BCCI has a predominant authority over although it has been questioned, it is under severe question in the present context also, because there are various championships which are going on where they are demanding independent existence and not in association with the BCCI, which they want to conduct their championship. That is what is the predominant decision, and that is how Indian Constitution has impacted on the development of sports jurisprudence in India. Lastly, as I said that although sports is such a subject matter where state has a lot of autonomy, state can decide, because each state has their own specificities. Some of the states have very good players, very good regional games in which they are doing they are doing excel, and they are taking in the game to international platform. There are certain games which have made place in different regional games and international games also. At the same time, Union government has also taken concerted efforts to develop the concept of sports culture in India, like Khelo India, which has been one of the consolidated program taken by Union cabinet, and in 2017 it was adopted. In 2020, the shape of Khelo India was revamped, and now the kind of investment which has been made under the Khelo India program is very wide, has been taken with a wide objective, and has covered various aspects which were not previously thought of. Similarly, there are different kind of assistance. The new sports code which has come has various aspects which the previous sports code has not relooked into or couldn't foresee. Like psychological training, sports psychological assessment, then doping assessment at the domestic level. Previously, before going to any international championships or before going to any international competitions, how we can analyze and tackle these issues so that the country does not come under any kind of scrutiny, or the concerned player does not comes under any kind of strict scrutiny, or they don't get radicalized like in the previous cases, some of the cases which we have seen in past. So these are some of the concerted efforts which has been taken by Union government. There are plenty of other efforts which has been taken by Union government, but these are to name a few. Now, in relation to the above concepts which we have which we have discussed in our previous slides, there can be certain plausible questions like how Indian Constitution deals with the concept of sports law. What is the role of a state in tackling various aspects of sports and games in their own jurisdiction? How Indian Constitution places sports, and what is the hierarchy through which Indian Constitution looks into sports in the present Indian context? These are some of the bold questions which can be asked. As I have said in earlier presentation also, that the domain of question is very wide, so in one slide it is impossible to cover. But anyway, these are some of the sample questions. Thank you very much. Hope to see you people in the in my next presentation again. Thank you so much.